Hi there, hello, my name's Lines, great to see you. Now today I'm doing a review of the Kamvas Pro 19 4K UHD. It is a pen display tablet from HUION. It's fantastic, but before I get into it, as a quick disclosure, I was sent this device for free by HUION. And other than the sample device that I received from them, I do not have, nor have I previously had, any financial relationship with HUION. There is also no editorial control, asked for or implied, of the content of the review. I am also not primarily a tech review channel, so my content, and thus income, is not dependent on staying in the better graces of companies who send sample products. Now, if you like the video, feed the algo, like, sub, comment, etc. The channel has tutorials, Bob Ross style real-time draw-alongs, a lot of other great stuff. There's also a Patreon, where patrons get my full PSD files, as well as an exclusive draw-along every other week or so. So if you're in a position to support the channel in that way, I would really appreciate it. Now the main artwork for this video is the prize for the winners of the September Discord server event, which was Kitten and Daff. Now there were a bunch of amazing entries as well, with theirs coming out on top, so congrats to both of them. And if you want to get in and have a go yourself, we've got one running right now. We have to give us your best MS Paint vibes. And there's a new one every month or so check the link in the description of the Discord for the invite link. Now, quick overview of the device. It has a UHD 4K display with a pixel resolution of 3840 by 2160. It is 18.4 inches corner to corner, essentially the same as an A3 sketchbook, so quite large. It's also quite portable, with some minor limitations. It's only 2 kilograms, which means it is quite lightweight, which serves better into that portability, and the body of it is about 2.1 centimeters in thickness, which again, serves that portability, and you'll hear that coming up a lot as you go through this review. Now, on the review outcome, I'm not going to give you a score or a big recommend yes or no. What I will do though, is talk about whether this would be a good fit for 3 kinds of people: beginners, intermediate or students, and professionals. Me personally, I've been using it for about a month, and I've got 100 or so hours into it, and this is what I reckon about the item itself. Now on the design and build quality. Firstly, on the materials and construction. The body of it is solid, tight, there's no creaking, no looseness. It's got a solid weight to it, it's very well constructed, and it doesn't feel cheap at all. It's got great ergonomics, and the stand options, so you can see on the back, it's got 2 little fold-out stands, as well as a VESA mount. And of course, if you want to have a stand-up monitor with it, you can mount it with a VESA mount, or just put it upside down. Now on the display performance. The color accuracy and brightness is excellent. So the screen is very bright, even in very, very brightly lit situations. You can see here in a lot of the footage, I've got a very, very strong light on my left side and a little rim light for the right, and even then, it can outshine them both. So it's very, very bright if you want it to be. As far as the color accuracy goes, it's got 99% sRGB coverage, it's got 96% Adobe RGB coverage, it's got 98% DCI P3 coverage, and it reckons it's got 1.07 billion displayable colors. But I haven't actually counted. From what I can see, that all does seem to be very accurate. The colors of this are fantastic. Wacom has excellent colors, NoXP Pen has excellent colors, and this one too has excellent colors out of the box as well. And it comes with a little calibration sheet when you open up the box to show that it's been checked. Now on the viewing angles on this, just like modern display tablets, there's no real sort of color banding or changing or shifting when you look at it at different angles. Essentially, by the time you've turned it far enough for you not to be able to see the screen anymore, it still hasn't shifted colors. Now the calibration on the color space on the device is great. Out of the box, the calibration is already spot on, but you can still move it around if you want to have it match different monitors or different color spaces. Now, on the resolution and pixel density, this is a 4K display. It is gorgeous. It has a matte finish, but unlike the matte finishes I've seen before where they do that by having a bit of a grain to the screen protector on it, you get a bit of sparkle to it. Whereas with this, there's no sparkle. It's a matte finish, but without any of that sort of color fringing, like when you have drops of water on a TV screen. Now, you can't see the individual pixels, but I can with this. So here's this display compared to my phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, and you can see that it's a comparable pixel density. You can also see that there's no sparkle that you get with a matte screen protector. Now on 4K for workflow advantages. So 4K screens do offer really good productivity benefits. The clarity of the picture on screen means you'll have a lot less time zoomed in for details, and you'll have a better view of how things like the texture will present in your work. Now, while these benefits are also present in monitors like a 1440p monitor, some of them will have a different aspect ratio, like 16:10. So 4K is just like 1080p in that it has a 16:9 aspect ratio. So if, like me, you record your work or you stream it for video, you won't have little black borders on the sides. Now, on the pen experience. Firstly, the pen case. It's great. It stores the nibs, it stores the styluses, it acts as a built-in stand when closed, and it has the nib changer hidden on the bottom. Now, it's clearly focused around portability as well, but also it looks and works well as a permanent desk addition as a pen holder. On the pens themselves, the pressure sensitivity and tilt support. They are both great. It's set up very hard out of the box, so you might want to switch to a softer profile in the settings, and it works great there. Now, the tilt support is really good and works quite well. Tilt support is primarily for people who work with traditional media simulating brushes, so if that's something you use a lot, you'll be happy with the support here. As far as latency and responsiveness, again, all the proper players, your HUION, your XP Pen, your Wacom, and any other manufacturer worth their salt, they've had this solved a good few hardware generations ago, so this is only a consideration to know that this has none if you're using an older device and thinking of an upgrade, and your older device does have some. This, like all modern devices, has none. As far as wobble and accuracy goes, the accuracy is perfect. I haven't needed to calibrate it out of the box, and I've been using it for, again, at least 100 hours. The accuracy is spot on. There's zero wobble when I tested with a ruler as well. Now, on the pen, buttons and customizability. All the buttons on both the pens are completely customizable to do anything you want. You can have them do different things in different applications, different key presses, open websites, open applications, whatever you like. Now, the standard pen has the tip, 3 shaft buttons, and an eraser on the end, which is also pressure sensitive. The smaller one has the tip, 2 buttons on the shaft, and an eraser on the end. The tip and the eraser are both pressure sensitive, but it only has 2 buttons. Now, the nibs themselves, they're very, very easy to replace. As far as availability and lifespan, the nibs feel great and they last really well. Just as a quick public service announcement, the plastic of the nibs is formulated to be softer than the screen, so the nib wears away and the screen doesn't. This is why you should never buy off-brand nibs. Aftermarket nibs are often made with cheaper plastics, and cheaper plastics actually tend to be harder and they're more likely to scratch your screen. HUION, XP Pen, and Wacom know what they're doing, and the proper brand nibs are slightly more expensive than the aftermarket ones. But don't save a couple of bucks on nibs at the cost of your $1,300 or $1,400 display. Now, the dual pens. So the larger pen is perfect in weight, comfort, and grip. It's solid and has a healthy amount of weight, so it doesn't really feel plastic. Now, the smaller pen, for me, it's not as comfortable, and that, to be clear, isn't a problem. The smaller pen's not for me. The smaller pen, much like the smaller pen that XP Pen have, is, to my view, there to be more of a transitional tool for people who are coming over from an iPad who want to have a more complete, feature-capable machine. These narrower, pencil-like styluses make that a lot easier. Now, the use cases and working flexibility. You could have each of them set up differently, but given how easy it is to switch profiles and tools, even just the buttons on the pen itself, with a shortcut, you wouldn't really need to do that, and I don't think it'd necessarily offer any increase in productivity. Now, compared to other styluses, it's not got as firm as the Apple Pencil or the current XP Pen, but it's not mushy at all. It just has a little bit more distance for that retraction. Now, on the input and control features, it comes with this excellent little Bluetooth shortcut dial. The setup and configuration is really simple. It's just Bluetooth, and the battery lasts for ages. It's only been charged once, and again, I've been using it quite a lot. On where it fits into your workflow efficiency and customization, now you can customize it however you like, and you can have multiple layouts preset, so you can switch between them very simply with just one press. It's larger and has more buttons than the XP Pen equivalent, to the point I have trouble remembering what all the keys are for, which is why there's painter's tape and my terrible handwriting all over it. Now, depending how much you take advantage of keyboard shortcuts, this may be more than enough, and the clicky wheel is really nice feeling, and a great way to control your brush size. However, if, like me, you've put a lot of your skill points into productivity, 20 buttons, which is left and right spin being 2 of them, may not be enough. I draw with my dominant hand and leave my off hand on the keyboard, a full keyboard. Now, there are a lot of these little shortcut devices on the market, and all of them are going to fit someone, but you likely already have a keyboard, and if you don't, a Bluetooth tablet keyboard is another alternative if you need more than just the 20 keys, or you can use your keyboard and your little shortcut key in tandem. And if HUION or anyone else is listening, if you ever make a Bluetooth full keyboard with multiple customizable little turny knobs that all have a lovely tactile click but somehow are also silent, and also doubles as a pen case and holder, well, then I may have a firstborn with your name on it. Now, talking a little bit about the touchscreen. The screen itself is also very responsive with multi-touch touchscreen support. So if you're transitioning from a tablet, then much like that narrow Apple Pencil-like stylus they have, this is going to be something for you. It can be toggled off or on with a very easy to identify switch at the top, and I only had a couple of instances over the dozens and dozens of hours where the palm rejection picked up something it wasn't supposed to and moved the canvas. Now, on connectivity and compatibility. On ports and cable management, it has two USB-C connectors, one for power in and the other for audio-visual and power out. Now, one thing I really like is the device is smart enough to know what you plugged it into. So you can blindly plug your power into one and your output into the other, and it'll figure it out. It also has a 4-conductor plug TRRS port, so you can plug in speakers and headphones and mic directly into the device, which I really appreciate. It may be just a bit of a millennial moment, but I just like having plugs for my audio. Now, on platform support, it works great with Android, Windows, Mac. The driver installation is ridiculously easy, zero hassles at all. Now, on portability. Firstly, if portability is of no interest, then this is still an absolute pleasure as a permanent desk fixture. Like I showed before, it has a VESA mount, and the inbuilt stand is perfectly fine long term. If you do want portability, then there's a couple of things about it to say. Firstly, there's levels of portability. So, the device is portable, but it does need a wall socket. So on a sort of spectrum of portable, there's things like a phone with stylus support, where you can draw anywhere. You can then have a tablet, where you can draw anywhere that you can sit. Or, you might have a pen display that plugs into a laptop that doesn't need external power. Then you can draw anywhere you can sit with a desk. And then you have this, which is portable. It's a pen display that needs external power. So you can draw anywhere that you can sit with a desk and a PowerPoint. And these are the scaling levels of portability needs, and the productivity scales inversely with it. Now on the device and its price. This device has a regular retail price of 1900 Australian didgeridoo, or 900 freedom bucks, which I will point out that translates to $1,300 Australian, Australia tax being what it is. It's also worth noting that HUION tend to put their stuff on sale very, very often, and in fact, right now they're on sale, in fact. As far as weight and dimensions, it's 2 kilograms almost exactly, so it's going to be lighter than most working laptops you connect it to. The ease of transportation and setup, with just being 2 centimeters thick and 2 kilograms in weight, it packs away really easy in your existing laptop bag, if you have a fairly large laptop bag. So if you have a big laptop bag, it'll fit. But if your laptop you're pairing it with is a bit smaller, you may need a separate bag or just get a different bag for your laptop. Now, suitability for mobile workflows. Anywhere you can find a PowerPoint, you can work with full productivity, and that seems to be where it's targeted. And if your main device can be charged by USB-C, you can actually just use one wall socket for long-term work, since the screen itself, this pen display, can charge your device if your device can be charged by USB-C. So why you can't just set up in like a cafe or a mountaintop, if portability to you means having your office movable to anywhere with a chair, desk and a PowerPoint, then this fits that full professional level of productivity with a level of portability you need. So if you're a student who has a desk space, or an artist who goes to conventions or works while traveling in hotels, this gives you that full productivity. So then, conclusion. For beginners, intermediate and professional. So, for beginners, that's someone who's just getting started. They're figuring out what they want to do, they're learning the basics. Now, if you know you're going to be an illustrator, then this device is an uncompromising piece of productivity. So it's not going to slow down your learning journey like a smaller, cheaper device will. But it's a pretty big investment. And if that's too big of a jump, then if you want to stay in the HUION ecosystem, for example, there are devices like their excellent Kamvas Pro 16 2.5K, it doesn't need external power, and it can work great as a high productivity pen display. And if you do ever upgrade down the line, HUION's devices last forever, so you have the option of resale or keeping that older tablet as a smaller one for a portable device for traveling or study. Now, for a beginner, the conclusion is, if you can afford it, it's a huge advantage to be starting with. But as a beginner, depending on your circumstances, It can be difficult to justify such a large investment like this early on, when there are a lot of excellent alternatives and a Black Friday sale coming up. Now, for an intermediate artist. If you're an intermediate artist, you've got some experience. You know what kind of work you want to do. And you're likely starting to get, or looking to start and get, some paid work. This device is a solid investment in quality of work, as well as speed and productivity. If you've made it this far in your journey, and you're looking for some endgame artist gear, this fits that bill really well. Lastly, for professionals. If you're a professional, you know what your time is worth, and you know what your productivity is worth, to the dollar. If any of these features, like a higher resolution screen, touch functionality, increased portability, can give you more opportunities to work, or work faster, then you already know if you need this. But if portability doesn't matter to you at all, then something like the excellent Kamvas Pro 24 4K goes for the same price, and you swap out that portability for a massive 24-inch 4K screen. So those are my recommendations for beginners, intermediate, and professionals. I hope the review was useful to you. If you liked it, like, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff. If you want to watch some art tutorials, I've got them on the channel. If you want to do some one-to-one speed paint-alongs, do them. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. I hope you liked it, and have a good day. Cheers. Bye.